For school-based PE programs, we have first INSET. Refers to modality of professional development intervention organized either sa school level, sa district level, kaya may cluster, or division to address and resolve areas of need identified by the teachers or school leaders to continuously improve their competencies. INSET classes are participatory and should be offered to small groups to maximize the impact of teacher and school leader quality. That's why in this training, may talaga mga breakout sessions, right? Aside from in-service training, we also have learning action cell. Paulit-ulit natin na sinasabi na since yesterday is the learning action cell. Sometimes, naimod na medyo weak ang ating implementation sa learning action cell. Learning action cell is a group of teachers who engage in collaborative learning sessions to solve shared challenges encountered in the school, facilitated by the school head or a designated LAC leader. What do you do as a LAC leader? A LAC leader can also be the LAC facilitator. Again, this is the theoretical framework of the learning action cell. Yun na, inulit natin. Community of practice with collaborative planning, problem solving, and action implementation. Learning action is more focused on collaborative planning, on problem solving, and action implementation. Kaya nga, kung mapapansin niyo sa atong menu of activities or strategies for learning action sa ito na ating menu, may sharing or feedback giving by teachers. It's more on problem solving and action implementation. Not like with in-service training, in which sa in-service training is we give you, diba? We give you inputs or new strategies. Ito siya na yung pagkakaiba. Because INSET is communities of practice. Improve teachers' content knowledge, pedagogical skills, assessment strategies, and professional ethics. Student learning, down to, syempre ang student learning and holistic development. So nakikita na natin nila ang importance sa 1.57 effect size. Do you realize now? Sa 1.57 effect size to student learning based on research, may collaborative expertise. Kaya dapat talaga our teachers should be of quality. Actually, no, kasi ang implementation na sa learning action cell, ini nga policy is now being reviewed. It's now being reviewed by NIA. Then yan, di ba? Ang time constraints sa mga ganyan, dako nila ginihimo sa Department of Education so that teachers will only be focused on teaching and learning. Diba? Number 1 is implementation of DO2. Diba? Immediate removal of administrative tasks o sa non-teaching personnel sa mga schools. So here's the composition as we know it of the learning action cell. Again. So the greatest influence, this is on collaborative expertise, on student progression and learning is having expert, inspired, and passionate teachers and school leaders working together to maximize the effect of their teaching on all students in their care. Do you agree? Na dapat talaga mayroon expert, inspired, and passionate teachers. Are our teachers still passionate and inspired? Are our teachers still passionate and inspired? Or expired na? Yun na nga. Kung babalikan talaga natin ang needs on collaborative expertise and in managing professional development programs, dapat ang ating mga teachers should have a standardized, diba, balance of expertise. No teacher should be left behind. Diba? For example, sa science ng mga teachers doon, bublig, collaborative, na idea, ginihimo, ganito, ganyan, to improve instruction. There is a role for the system, and that is what? To provide the support, the time, and resources for this to happen, and that answers one of the questions raised by Ma'am Roslyn earlier. And what is that system that we're talking about? It's the Department of Education itself. Because at the end of all of these things, we still face the biggest systemic issue, and that is education crisis. Kaya dapat may support tayo and resources for this to happen. The concept of collaborative expertise in education concerns addressing the need to improve student learning outcomes by reducing within school variability in teacher effectiveness. What do you mean by reducing within school variability in teacher effectiveness? What do you mean by that? Introduce natin ang variability sa teacher effectiveness. Our teachers have varied competencies and skills. With collaborative expertise, we reduce that variability in teacher effectiveness. Kina-standardize natin. Na-standardize natin. Okay. Highlights the need to shift the collaborative expertise moving forward, highlights the need to shift the education narrative towards collaboration, expertise, and evidence-based improvement. The shift is actually critical if we, at the Department of Education, wish ultimately to lead schools, leaders, and teachers to help attain better learning outcomes for learners. So we are gearing towards collaboration, expertise, and evidence-based improvement. So, improve learning outcomes for students. Here, we have 3 fundamental ideas. First one, let's read 1 to 3, go. The second one. And the last one. And we summarize these 3 ideas into the following. Quality teaching can be promoted by 3 ideas evidenced by teachers, knowing their subject and how it can be taught and where to start. You cannot teach what you did not know. You cannot share what you did not have. Ganon. That's why in collaborative teaching expertise, using knowledge of how the brain learns to guide teaching approaches to support student learning. Using knowledge of how the brain learns to guide teaching approaches to support student learning. We should know the psychology of the child. We should know the psychology of our learners, their learning styles, and so on. And working to establish and utilize collaborative expertise to facilitate greater coherence in learning across their schools. So working together. Okay, here, this is actually, this figure is, shows the professional development process where the use of the PPDC is deemed very important. We will not delve deeper into this framework because this framework is also the same with our professional development or learning and development system, which is iterative. Yung process na ay iterative. Yan, PPST-based teacher professional development curriculum. Ano pinakauna? Determine the professional development needs. Di natin ikukuha needs of mga learners, our teachers, from the IPCRF, from your observations, from FGDs, and so on and so forth. Nano ng mga results. And then we select appropriate PD areas from the framework. Then we develop, we design, diba? Needs assessment, then you design, and dapat itong masunod is resource package development, tigat-tuneton sa implementation or conduct of the PD program. Okay, this is actually a customized school-based professional development programs plan. But, dito niya natin the exercise. This is just a template, a sample based on the PPDC. Okay? But in the succeeding years, we will be using this template already. The school-based professional development plan. Kaya natin yung plan, di mas comprehensive as this one. Yan. Ito, mayaon, target participants. For example, lang siya, kung ano mga training, grade level, learning area, delivery modality. Pero di ba sa atong plan na ginihimo, may magkits ito, delivery modality. At tumatay ko dito sa IDP, sa IPSRF, kung ano mga modality. Nano strategy, when, the time frame, the resources required, at tumatay ko, that's the same. For my funding or what? Okay. And the training matrix, and roles and responsibilities of the performance management team. So yeah. Okay. Actually, initial template should be done. It should be done individually. So you will be the trainers in respective clusters. Yun po. Okay. So we have here the implementation strategies for the conduct of the school-based training of the Matatak curriculum. So are you ready or game na ba kayo sa conduct ng SBTT? So actually this is based on the joint debate memorandum where students are expected to employ the suggested activities or strategies applicable sa kanang context sa pag-implement sa Matatak curriculum training.
Instruction is show a thumbs up if the option is possible. Show a thumbs down if you believe it's not. Thumbs sideways if you are unsure. Are you ready? Okay. Number one, maximizing the loading of other teachers per learning area from other grade levels not involved in the initial phase of the training. Is it a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Okay, it's a thumbs up. Number two, engaging SK members to take charge of the class while the teachers are in the training. Okay, it's a thumbs down. So we will not allow the SK members. Number three is scheduling a half-day training for K147 teachers totaling 40 hours to ensure that the regular classes will continue without disruption. Okay, that's a thumbs up. Number four, letting the most active parents handle the class and visit the class now and then to see whether learners are intact inside the classroom. It's a thumbs down. Number five, taking turns by a batch of grade 4 or grade 7 teachers, maximizing the loading of other batches of teachers not yet involved in the scheduled training, like batch 1, week 1 English, Science, Math, batch 2, week 2 Filipino AP Values Education, batch 3, week 3 PLE, Heli, and Mapping. It's a thumbs up. Number 6, shorten the class and let the learners go home so as not to distract the attendance of the teachers in the training. It's a thumbs down. Number 7, maximizing the loading of relieving special teacher in the training program. Thumbs up. Number 8, tap the barangay officials to organize sports activities for the learner to engage in. That's a thumbs down. Number 9, hiring substitute teachers subject to the availability of funds. It is a thumbs up. Number 10, ask the school head to merge classes with the ALS learners. It's a thumbs down. So based on the joint DepEd memorandum dated December 20, 2023, the school heads are expected to employ the suggested strategies defined applicable to their school context in implementing the training of the Matatag curriculum for Kinder 1, 4, and 7 if the trainings will be conducted during class days. So number 1 is on maximizing the loading of other teachers per learning area from other grade levels not involved in the initial phase of the training. Number 2 is scheduling a half-day training for K147 teachers totaling 40 hours to ensure that the regular classes will continue without disruption. Number 3, taking turns by batch of grade 4 or grade 7 maximizing the loading of other batches of teachers not yet involved in the scheduled training. So that is one of the option. Number four, maximizing the loading of relieving special teachers who are not in the training program. Number five, hiring substitute teachers subject to the availability of funds. And number six, tapping teacher applicants for voluntary services during the duration of the training program. That would be all. Thank you.
So are you ready or game na ba kayo?